Hello, our next guest is Janet Christensen, who is a pre-retirement expert, and we're going to have a few words with Janet. So, Janet, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, Ron. Thank you for having me on the show.
You're very welcome. I guess the big question is, what is a pre-retirement expert?
Well, I am someone who works with people and with organizations to help people plan the second half of life. Most people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they do their retirement. And then when they go to look at retirement, what do they focus on? The money. They focus on the financial aspect, and they miss entirely all of the other aspects that impact us as we transition into retirement. That's if retirement is the best thing for us, even, because it's not a cookie-cutter process. And for some people, retirement is not the way to go. They're better to die with their boots on, as we say. We have some excellent role models for that, and people like Christopher Plummer, who's still acting well into his 80s. That's his passion. That's what he's doing. So I work with people to help them figure out what's the second half look like that will bring them fulfillment, passion, and really engage them in the next half of life.
Well, that's great. So I guess we'd ask, what you're going to go out and try to present this, or you do present this to employers. Mm-hmm. What is the benefit to the employer for you to come and talk to their employees, for example?
Well, there's actually a huge payoff to employers to provide the service for their employees. And we're not talking 6 months or a year pre-retirement. We're actually talking 5 to 10 years ahead of when people are planning to retire. There have been studies done that show that organizations that provide this service to their employees actually reap great benefits. There's a huge return on investment. The employees, when they have a plan and know what it looks like, they are more settled, they're more loyal, there's less illness, there are less disability claims, they're more productive at work. Not only that, the organization gets to do some succession planning for what it's going to look like as people move towards retirement, so that they can put the plans into place. And especially with mentoring up and coming leaders, they can then leverage the expertise that they have in the organization in order to have the next group of leaders ready and to take over as they transition. The other big thing with organizations is, in the next 5 to 10 years, 50% of the Canadian workforce is due to retire. That's the boomers. That's going to have an incredible impact for organizations with employment.
Now, of the businesses that you've talked to, and I know you've given presentations on, are they getting this? Are they understanding what's looming over the hill, that there's this tsunami that's coming that they're not really aware of yet?
No, they're not. A few of them are. Many of them aren't. And unfortunately, with the current or the recent economic situation, a lot of companies have kind of gone, well, we've had to lay people off. They're not getting it, and it's going to sideswipe them if they're not prepared. It really will sideswipe them.
I know I used to work for a large organization, and I guess the plan was always that you looked at your financial plan, and nobody ever gave thought to, they were always looking forward to that retirement day, but never to what you did now that you maybe had the money to do it, but what did you do with the money? Yeah. So you're getting this point across to, do you talk to both employer and employees?
Yes. What I do is I talk to the employers about what they need to know. There's also issues within organizations of intergenerational communication. How do we get the Gen X and Yers talking to the baby boomers, who are the leaders in organizations, and getting that communication flowing smoothly? So we talk to organizations about that, and then also to the employees about, what does the plan look like? It's great to have a financial plan, and necessary, but how do you know what to plan for financially if you don't know what the plan is? How much is enough money if you don't know what that's going to look like? And for some people, it's, organizations can offer the opportunity to perhaps scale back gradually on the work hours to help someone ease into that transition and help them transition in the workplace. Maybe it's offering job sharing, or, as I mentioned before, the mentorship piece. What is it that they can do that is a win-win for the employee and the organization to help everybody transition through this plan into retirement? Or is it now maybe some people don't leave. They stay on as consultants or part-time.
Yeah, I think there is a shift. It's probably changed because of the recession a couple of years ago, so everybody's maybe idea of retirement has stretched a bit. But yeah, it's difficult because we don't think of that planning part. It's always financial, and that's a great idea to help people with what they want to do, because I don't think, unless you're really involved and you're an avid golfer and you're, you have your golf clubs, close to you, it's not something you're going to do 5 or 6 days a week. Or it used to be an exciting thing to do because you got a day off to do it. But 5 days a week, it becomes maybe tedious.
It becomes your new job.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that.
No, exactly.
So do you also offer this to maybe just individuals that may see your site and be interested in, I like to call Janet just to maybe get some coaching myself individually?
Yes, I do. In fact, I have people who come to me directly and I do coach them. I was recently working with one woman who is retired at age 55, had a very successful career, and as an engineer, thought, well, she was able to retire at 55. She came to me a year afterwards, depressed. She said, I thought I had all my ducks in a row, and I didn't. She says, I have no sense of purpose in my life, don't know what this is about. And she was really fading away. And after working with her for a short period of time, actually, she's got really great focus now. She feels really engaged with what she's doing. She's got that sense of meaning and fulfillment back in her life. And that is one of the key things. Even if you don't like your job provides you with a sense of status. How many people do we hear who go, well, I'm a retired teacher or a retired engineer? They have lost their sense of identity. It also provides us with a routine, that structure of getting up and going to work. It does provide us with the financial remuneration. Also, it provides us with a sense of utility and meaningfulness in our lives. So there's a number of things that we need to pay attention to as we transition into retirement, and maybe it's not retirement, as I mentioned before.
Okay, so a quick word of advice to these people here and employers, because it covers both. I think employers have to get it first because they have to be able to push it down through the organization. But
yes.
a piece of advice as you part?
Is don't wait until it's imminent or a year past. Plan ahead. Take charge of your life and figure out what it's going to look like and have some fun with it. And my tagline for my business is take charge and live large.
Well, thank you, Janet. Very much appreciate it. That's great information, and it's something for us to look forward to. So thank you very much. Still to come, Novax is here to talk traveling.